We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. It is Tuesday, and we are doing a TikTok live, mainly because it's kind of interesting to get other people talking, other people asking questions and making comments. And it's easier. It's easier. I can kill two birds with one stone. And so we're going to do a TikTok live, and we're starting to get people showing up on the TikTok live at this point. We're going to have some of the old favorites on as well. People that we normally have on will be showing up as well. We got a lot to talk about. We were all worried about the tariffs, and as I suspected, it kind of worked out exactly the way I expected it to work out. I'm going to bring in the analytical Iowan, Eric from Iowa. And Eric, I think you and I talked about this before with regards to the tariffs. We both know that these demands for tariffs were nothing more than a bullying strategy. So what Donald Trump does, he makes some threat in order to get his way, and if that doesn't work, he makes the threat stronger. And if that doesn't work, he either just takes it right over the ledge and fucks himself over along with everybody else, or he backs off. And as both of us thought he might do, he did exactly that. He backed off both Mexico and Canada. I'm not sure what the situation is with China, but he wanted out of that as quickly as he could, didn't you think?
Yeah, and he got played in both cases.
He did, not surprising.
Yeah, the additional stuff, that he supposedly got, Joe Biden got from Mexico without threatening tariffs by being a diplomat and doing the job. And a lot of the stuff that Trudeau in Canada announced apparently had been agreed to or had been planned already back in December when Biden was president, just hadn't been started yet. So he didn't get anything new. He just got them to either announce things or continue things they were already doing. But he's going to take that about a win. He's going to scream and crow about it because he did something. He was the tough guy. They bowed to him.
Well, that's what he always does. He'll, when he gets cornered like this and he can't find a way out, he'll try for one thin little thing that he can claim a win and then act like it was a huge win. Like, for example, with the president of Mexico. He said, I got her to put 10,000 troops down at the border, so I won. What he failed to mention is that she got him to do some things to stop getting our guns going down to Mexico. So it was kind of an even trade, but it ends up not really even being an even trade because it sounds like she was going to do that anyway. So Donald Trump did anything he could to make it look like a win because he knew it was going to be a disaster. I think he knew that from the beginning. I think he just thought he was so tough that people would cave in, and he fucked around and found out that that wasn't the case.
Well, I don't know if he actually always planned on caving in. I think he planned on going through with it. I believe he doesn't have a clue what tariffs are. He didn't think they were going to go badly. He thought they were going to do exactly what he said, and it was going to come from Canada's treasury, Mexico's treasury, into the United States treasury. We wouldn't feel a thing. I believe that he believes that because he's that incompetent.
Well, and that's a good point, is that, okay, they cut a deal, saved at the last minute. But if they were as profitable as Donald Trump said they were going to be, why would you cave? Why would you give it to him? Why not just do it and make all that money?
Well, I think one of the reasons he backed off, even though he claims to not pay attention to it, or that he hadn't seen it, was the stock market crashed. Not crashed, but dipped. It was dipping down. It was trending down. Futures were down as of yesterday. Oil price had gone up, which was going to raise gas prices. And then they continued going down today. And I think somebody got in his ear and said, look, these things aren't working. We need more time before it really screws everything up. And he backed off a little bit because he got something he could crow about as a win.
Yeah, he backed off a lot, and this is something he's done in the past. He's done it many times. I mean, just in the couple of weeks he's been president, he planned on a lot of things. He planned on the freezing of federal funds. He thought for sure that was going to work and that was going to happen. He got all kinds of pushback, and he said, "Yeah, okay, we're not going to do that, but maybe we're going to do it, but we're not going to do it." And then when it came to freezing hiring, he specifically said to freeze the FAA, fire the head of the FAA, fire the head of the TSA, fire the advisory board. And then when it went south and we had those crashes, he says, "Oh, no, I didn't mean those." And now with the tariffs, which was the main part of his campaign, the tariffs were the big deal. Now he's even backed off them. Now he says he's going to pause it for 30 days. I'll guarantee you what's going to happen. It's going to fade off into the background and something else will take its place, and we won't hear about the tariffs again. Because even if he waits 30 days, or he isn't going to get any more out of Mexico and Canada, and it's never going to work. So I have a feeling he'll just conveniently forget about that.
Well, I think that might be part of it, but on top of it, I think they were focused on that, so we weren't paying attention to all of the other issues that were going on. You've got Elon with access to the federal payment system. You got Elon in the Office of Personnel Management. You got him today saying he's collapsing USAID into the State Department and trying to freeze foreign aid, which again is more than likely unconstitutional and probably should be a high crime. And just a lot of the things he's doing, he's using that. So we're focused on what he's going to do to the economy and not worried about the rest of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm bringing in TJ and Rebecca, standard folks that you would see when you come to a Rational Boomer Live. Welcome, TJ. Welcome, Rebecca. How are you doing today?
Hey, Mike. Good. How are you?
Not too bad. What were your guys' thoughts about the backing down from the tariffs? Because make no mistake, regardless of what Donald Trump did or said, he backed down. He backed off that. He pussed out. He was bitch played by Trudeau and Sheinbaum.
Yeah, but have you seen what the Trump fucks are saying online?
I don't know. What are they saying?
They're saying Mexico caved to Donald Trump and Canada's going to cave to Donald Trump. It's absolutely absurd. Donald
Yeah,
Trump,
what'd you get?
yeah, Donald.
What'd they
got
get, though?
nothing. They got nothing because there's already 10,000 Mexican troops at the border. Joe Biden did that without doing anything, without threatening Mexico, and it's an absolute joke. You know, they're saying this stuff, and it's already something that's happened, and Donald Trump knew that they called his bluff. They called his bluff.
Exactly.
Justin Trudeau told you, and Sheinbaum told him, "Fuck you. We don't give a fuck. Go ahead and do it." And Donald Trump didn't expect that. He did not expect that. And so now, when the stock market took a shit today, which was absolutely hilarious, not for my 401k, but that's okay. When the stock market took a shit today, Donald Trump got scared. And Mexico and Canada made him their bitch today.
Yeah, and even if he didn't get scared, the people that support him did, and they say, "Donnie, fucking back off," and that's exactly what he had to do. And you know, this is a standard fare for Donald Trump. He always bluffs. You know, this may have worked in college, this may work with his family, and this may work in his business. But when you're out here in the big boy world and the big girl world, the bluffing thing, you better be better at it than Donald Trump is, because you know, it's one thing if you're trying to sell something that's legit, but this is just something he pulled out of his ass that wasn't going to work, that was going to be a disaster. And he was always going to have to cave because he really had no choice.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? There's a lot of shady business that's going on with this fake-ass Doge thing or whatever it is. And I have a friend that he's he's mostly a labor law attorney, but he's a big high power attorney that has argued many cases in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. So I sent him a text today, and I'm like, what the fuck is the deal with Elon Musk and his cronies seizing this information from the Treasury? And he said that it's based upon something called the unitary executive theory. That's what they're going with, this premise of the executive being able to do this. And he couldn't elaborate with it because he was in a trial, but he told me that tomorrow he will call me and he will tell me exactly what they're doing and why. So I'm eagerly anticipating that conversation because I want to know what the legal ramifications are for what they're doing. And if they're breaking the law, in my opinion, they're breaking the law because Elon Musk has no authority or no valid reason to have the private information of the U.S. citizens of this country.
Well, regardless if they're breaking the law, it's like too late now. They have the information.
Well, I agree, but I want to know under what basis does he think that's lawful, and I don't believe that it is.
Well, I agree with that, but it's terrifying that he already has it all. I mean, I'm not worried about my piddly little accounts and
but really, what's he going to do? I mean, is he going to open credit cards in our name? I mean, is he going to? Are we going to lose all the money in our bank accounts? I mean, we both know, like, I don't have more than $250,000 in my bank accounts. I'm going to be honest.
Right.
So the FDIC is going to insure my money. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not particularly terrified about it. I mean, I don't want the Russians to have my information. And I told Eric earlier today, I think the whole ploy is to give Russia our private information. And he kind of thought that that's a possibility. But, like, what are they really going to do to us poor ass fucking people? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think some people are worried about the prospect of maybe getting in on Social Security or Medicare or something like that and somehow stopping it. That's not possible, but I know people are concerned about it.
Well, I think one of the things a lot of people are worried about, not just stopping Social Security, but let's say there was a contract that was going to get paid out to a competitor of Musk for something, and now they don't get their money. The money gets rerouted to Musk. That's what some people are worried about. And the minute one of those payments don't go through, or it's being reported that somebody didn't get their government contract money on time, that starts to affect the full faith and credit of the United States. It affects our borrowing capabilities. It affects the interest rates we pay going forward. It affects who's willing to do business with us. It affects a lot that they're not even thinking about, Musk and them. And this team he's got, somebody did a report on some of them. A lot of the team, for lack of a better word, they're 18 to 23-year-olds. Yeah. And I don't remember a lot about it, but like the one guy, I think he's 19 or 20, and he goes by the nickname Big Balls.
Wow, that's impressive.
I guess they talk. That's how they refer to him. They don't even call him by his name. Like the rest of the team, that's just what they say. So how would you like to be a 30-plus year federal employee, and you got some 18, 19-year-old kid who everyone else is calling Big Balls, telling you what to do and threatening to have you arrested by federal marshals and stuff, who's never been appointed and has no government authority. You know what, Eric?
Well,
just going, yeah, go with it, it's okay.
You know what, Eric? I think they're going to live to regret all of that.
Oh, I do too. I do too, because they don't have immunity like Donald Trump might. They don't have, when this is all said and done, what I think that he did was illegal, regardless if it's a unitarian thing or the executive branch. He's not even in the government. He's some guy. Donald Trump can't say to me, Mike, go check out Social Security. Doesn't matter if Donald Trump told me that or not. I can't, as some goof, I can't walk in there. So there are going to be some ramifications about this when Donald Trump is out of power, and Elon Musk is going to have to answer some questions. And those kids, they think they're safe. I wouldn't bet on it. I would not bet on it. If that was my kid, I'd pull him the fuck out of there, because that's potential jail time.
Well, Mike, don't you think that was part of the plan? That they picked these young ass kids that are, gullible and,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that I think that was the plan. They picked these young people that don't know fuck all about fuck all, in your words.
Yeah. Yeah.
That they picked them because they knew that they could manipulate them and control them. And now, if they've committed crimes, they're on the hook for it, and they're just going to walk away from them, and they're going to be fucking done.
Yeah, that's pretty much
they're
true.
the scapegoats. They're going to be the ones on the hook. They're going to find a way to blame them. It won't be Musk's fault. It won't be Trump's fault. And these kids, they are going to end up, even walking away now, I'm guessing, is going to ultimately be bad for them, because when things come out later on, they'll be facing charges, more than likely, for accessing government systems without clearance. They tried to break into a skiff. I mean, those are some serious crimes if they ever get charged. That could be
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm pulling in Will now, too, because no doubt he has some thoughts on what's going on today, especially with the tariffs and the intrusions into our systems. What's up, Will?
Yeah, I started live, and then these guys told me you were going live. Okay, big dog, got to roll. But
glad I can help you out.
Thank you, PJ. I appreciate you. But here's the thing: my biggest concern is everyone is saying. But one thing you got to remember: he's got control right now of the Treasury paywall. He's already said that he's going to stop payments to certain things he thinks are not right, that they need to be cut. He shouldn't have that power, and no one's stopping him at this point. My biggest concern is that when they showed up at the Treasury Department or at the USAID or at the OPM offices, marshals should have said, get the fuck out. They should have listened to the Assistant Treasury Secretary. He's got to go because he's not a federal employee. No, U.S. Marshals escorted them in and protected them. And today, when members of Congress tried to get to USAID to find out what's going on, federal marshals kept elected officials from going into a federal agency. Okay, when did the U.S. Marshals become Elon Musk's fucking private army? I'm sorry.
No, that's a good point.
I mean, that's insane. And that's the thing. Normal world, there would be FBI agents, DOJ, Homeland Security, and you being arrested. And by the way, those guys you're talking about, the crew, Elon Musk crew, they are on student fucking visas. They're not even Americans that are doing this shit.
No shit.
So immigrants are really committing crimes. Not us, but his boys.
Well,
so
yeah,
one thing, Will, you said nobody's holding him accountable about stopping these payments and stuff. One thing, though, there was a court case today, a hearing about the freezing of the funds with that memo from last week.
Right.
The judge was pissed. And the judge said, hey, based on your press conference, where your press secretary said, hey, we're still going to go through with this, even though you said you're rescinding the memo and you're backing things off, and it doesn't look like you're actually complying with my order to freeze. There was an order from the judge that said, you must pass this out to everybody. You must comply with all payments. They're going to start risking contempt of court charges.
Like it matters. Yeah. They care.
Well, I know the DOJ is going to have to be the ones to enforce it, but at some point, congressional politicians are going to have to step in and say, this is enough. This is bullshit.
Here's the thing, because I saw this in an article today. I don't know, it was Axios or whatever. They're talking. Someone asked Mike Johnson, if Trump's doing his tariffs and it's going to raise prices, didn't you guys run on the platform that you were going to reduce everything? Gas, groceries, the whole 9 yards. Doesn't this go against what you're saying? And Mike Johnson danced, but he said one thing in this statement that scares the hell out of me. He said that the executive branch is using their right to control federal money. He's leaving the legislative branch out of it. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Speaker of the fucking House. The House controls the purse, not the fucking president. And the Speaker of the House stated that. And no one said a word. I caught that. I'm going, they are allowing unconstitutional efforts right now to go on. And
Absolutely.
and they got to go to court. They have to put us, because, Eric, I'm going to say one thing. That court order about the funding freeze doesn't mean shit if he's controlling the access how people get paid. As long as he controls that access to get people paid, he controls the Treasury. That's the truth at this point.
Yeah, it is. It is. I tell you what, I'm going to pull Joel in here. We'll see if he pops up and see what's on his mind. The thing about it is, Joel, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Joel, what's on your mind? Good.
Well,
good.
no, the one of the things that I noticed with the tariffs, basically the president from Mexico stood her ground.
Yeah.
And it seems like he called her to say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and just wait on this on these tariffs for 1 month, and then later on that day they called, I guess, Prime Minister from Canada and did the same thing with him. It's not looking very good for him because the stock market is down.
Right.
And
it doesn't help that he fixed it.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys for taking my comments.
Thank you very much. Joel makes an excellent point. The fact that he pulled back on the tariffs doesn't fix the problem with the stock market or anything else, because it just throws everything in limbo. So now the stock market's got another month to think about it. And they're going to be a little shaky in there. So what damage he did to the stock market isn't probably going to improve for a while. He fucked up. He made a wrong choice.
Trump threatened the EU and UK over the weekend also.
Yeah, I know.
The EU and the UK is basically saying, go fuck yourself, basically what they said. And it hit me because he kept saying they treated he had a presser before he got up on what I call now fucked up one. Because he always has to talk. And they asked him about the EU. He said he's going to put it on there because they treated us badly and they owe us money. No, the only people that the EU treated badly was you, Trump, because every time you showed up, they laughed at your ass. They treated you like a little punk. And so now he's petty and pissed, thinking that, I'm going to get even. You're not getting even with anybody. I'm not going for this ride on your retribution tour. Fuck you, because this is stupid. All this.
Somebody made this mention. Somebody made this mention that she added 10 more and there were already 15 there. I don't know if that's true, but here's another way to look at what Mexico did. They said Donald wanted more troops on the border, and in her mind, she's placating them or just doing what they normally do. But isn't it wise to have a bunch of troops on the border when Donald Trump has already threatened a soft invasion? Maybe it's not so much helping Donald Trump cover the border than it is to keep the dumb fucks that follow Donald Trump out of Mexico. I'd probably want to put 25,000 troops down there just to keep those fuckers back. You don't walk into my country and start playing fucking sheriff.
And I followed your point on that in the video. You know my reactions I got for Trump before? Don't worry.
What?
A squad of Rangers would take care of them. Don't worry. The American military will wipe them out. Let me make this clear, you dumbasses. People die in war. This is not Call of Duty. Secondly, I saw the Mexican response to Los Angeles. That was a quick response. And it was military response. So they may not have all the toys and weapons, but unless you're willing to bomb the shit out of Mexico City, you do not want to get into a grapple in the Mexican desert with the Mexican army. I'm sorry. That's going to be ugly, whether you guys like it or not.
Well, we know how well we did with Vietnam and Afghanistan, so we should be concerned about the prospect of some fight that's unnecessary with a country like Mexico. The whole
not for
premise was
nothing, but
stupid.
as we all know, all Mexicans are criminals, so they definitely know how to fight dirty.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that.
Also remember that the Canadians in the deal, the concessions that Trudeau did, he raised border security on his side, and the
Right.
couple keep talking about let's invade Canada again. This is a historical fact. The reason we have the Geneva Convention because the Canadian troops in World War I are out of control. I don't want to fuck with those guys. They're too nice, to be honest.
Well, and they're our friends, and they're valuable. I mean, the thing about it is here's what I'm thinking is going to happen with these tariffs, that they're going to just kind of fade off into the background. They won't be brought up again because there'll be some other crazy shit going on. There's nothing Donald Trump can get more out of these people. I think he realizes that now. And on top of it, it's never going to work the way he says it's going to work. You know, all these Republicans can be talking how Donald Trump was tough and how he won the tariff thing. Wait a minute. Donald Trump told you that this was going to make this country all kinds of money. So if that were true, why would you give up on it? Why wouldn't you just do it anyway to generate all that income? Because Donald Trump is fucking lying again.
Yeah, if he's got his mouth open, he's lying. He doesn't know how most of this stuff works. And then he continues to just ramble on. Did you see the helicopter crash in D.C., where they said he was on a continuity of government training exercise? What they're saying is what the helicopter pilot was doing. Right. And then he didn't know what continuity of government meant, but he still gave like a 5 or 6 sentence answer as to what that meant. He says, I don't know exactly what it means, and then continues to tell us what it means.
Yeah.
Well, this is hilarious that Donald Trump offered all this benefits for people to resign and leave the federal government, and it included air traffic controllers, and then he tried to lie and say that it didn't.
Right.
They don't got letters.
And people have the paperwork. Yeah,
Yeah,
they sent out
we have
freaking
it.
letters. They sent out
He
freaking
knew-
letters.
He knew he was in trouble because last night I saw Midas Touch is just on fire. They reported at about 10 o'clock last night, my time, that stock futures had dropped immensely. That meant Monday morning's opening was going to be a disaster. The first thing I did that night was put in a request for a loan and took out the most I could from my 401k. Because I told my wife I'd rather sit on the cash, make small payments, than let that thing get fucked up. But what happened? The stock market took a dump, and like you guys just said, Trump went, oh, hell. Yeah, oh, hell, dude. And your buddy said, then the hedge funds got involved and said, Then he got heat. And that's not good.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to bring in. I'm bringing in somebody else here. Well, no, it doesn't look like I am. It looks like they dropped off before I could do that. I'll try one more here, and I'll try a bunch more. Okay. Jim, spelled like Jim Jordan. J-Y-M. Are you there, Jim? Hello.
No, he's at the gym.
He's at the gym. All right.
He's at the gym.
I think sometimes people request and they didn't know they requested, and then they get shy when they get pulled up here. I get it. It's no problem. It's no problem. It's a lot of tech, and this is all new to all of us. Doesn't it strike you, though, that in the 2 weeks he's been in office, that everything he's tried, he's failed? Everything. And this is what I've said all along. Donald Trump is incompetent. He can talk a lot of shit. He can try a lot of shit, but he always fucking fails.
And one thing that's happening too, because he spread fear with the immigration. But last night again, most of the night last night, there were protests in Los Angeles. They closed down the 101. I'm seeing right now protests in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a pushback coming on this immigration thing. People are saying,
absolutely.
well, now he's going to declare martial law. My point is, fuck it. He doesn't have enough troops to do anything to stop all of us. And if he's going to do it, he does it. And these people are saying they got nothing to lose now. They're marching, and it's going to get worse. And then people are getting pissed. And in Chicago and other cities, they're getting ready for a fight. And it's going to get ugly.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to have to back off and back down. And the one thing I will say, the dog killer, she was asked on Sunday on the Gitmo thing, will you imprison women and children? And she did not say no. And
no, of course she didn't. She doesn't know what to say because Donald Trump just keeps saying shit. I'm pulling somebody else in here. We'll see if they're with us and if they show up.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
We're not being suppressed tonight by any stretch of the imagination.
I know we aren't, and I'm watching my tongue.
It's not bad.
I'm watching my tongue here.
I can't believe that we're not being suppressed.
Well, the reason we were suppressed is because of what I said last time, and I'm not going to say it again. And it isn't anything bad like you think. It's just a word, and that word is not to be spoken. I'm going to pull up. Okay, now this guy I know will show up.
Oh, JD.
Because he's
JD.
JD Farmer. Hey, JD, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
What's up?
Trump got played like a fiddle today. That was pretty satisfying.
Hey.
It was kind of surprising, really. Like you said, so far everything he's tried has pretty much hit a brick wall and failed. So that kind of tells me where we're headed here.
Hey, JD, I wanted to mention to you, and I forgot to tell you, I saw something you'll like. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, Trump is putting out his plan for infrastructure.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Everybody, here we go again. Just so you know, I saw that. 4 o'clock press conference coming.
Fucking asshole.
Oh. What do you want to bet? It's going to be basically the infrastructure deal that Joe Biden signed that Donald Trump tried to pause. And you'll say, see, I'm letting that money go. I agree. It's all good. See, look at me. I'm the hero.
1,000%.
That's exactly
John.
what he's going to do. Yeah. He might add something to it or tweak it a little bit. Kind of like what he did to NAFTA. And then he'll put his name on it and say, it's 100 times better now.
Hey, JD.
And then he'll violate it later on.
Hey,
Exactly.
JD.
What's up?
Where are you from?
Illinois.
Illinois? Where in Illinois?
Bloomington.
Oh.
What's your social number? I'm just kidding. Trying to fucking hone in on you and
You don't
shit.
need to worry about that.
I was on the podcast once, maybe in December.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, are you feeling a little more lighthearted as you watch Donald Trump continue to dog paddle and continue to sink? This is kind of what I've said before. Here's what Donald Trump's going to do. He's going to make it chaotic. He's going to make it stressful, but he's not going to be able to accomplish much because he's just fucking incompetent. We have to go through a lot of shit, but I don't know that he's going to get as much done as he thinks he is or other people think he is.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's an idiot, and so are all the people surrounding him. So, I mean, we'll get around it. It's going to take a while, but we'll get around it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get around it eventually. It's just too much. I mean, we've been doing this for 9 years. We're all fucking tired. I'm old, man. I can't do this another 10 years. I'll be dead. I might be dead anyway. I'll be 75 fucking years old.
I guarantee Trump will be dead long before you, pal.
God, where's the Big Mac when you need it? And the thing about it though is like, it's all starting to show his weaknesses. Because the point is, his strength has always been people are afraid of him, and for a while people were afraid. Now people are pissed, and the rest of the world is pissed, and that's the worst thing. He took us from an alliance to a peaceful place, to a hostile place that no one really wants in this country. And I love what the Canadians are saying. You know what? Fuck America, but not the American people. Because the majority, you're okay. That's what they're saying.
Did you guys hear that Premier Doug Ford, the Premier, I think from Ontario? He's the one that's talking shit about Donald Trump. We're going to turn the lights out and all that stuff. And they were going to take all the American products off the shelf, all the American booze. But he said something else that I found really interesting. He said, we just put together a contract with Starlink for the rural internet for $100 million with Elon Musk. We're tearing that motherfucker up. I found that hilarious. I hope they still do it.
I saw
great.
that too. That's
Fuck
awesome.
them.
Well,
Fuck them.
I think Musk was talking about that, and he's like, okay, whatever. Like, he tried to play it off like it was no big deal, but...
It burned his ass, Eric.
Yeah,
Well, I
okay,
know.
but he tried to play off that he bought Twitter for like billions of dollars and he lost billions of dollars, and that's no big deal too. So
Yeah, I mean,
Well, if you're-
it's funny that he was just trying to play it off. Oh, whatever. I'll get another deal somewhere.
Somebody needs to explain to Elon Musk that losing billions of dollars, that's not a flex.
No.
Especially if you're trying to portray yourself as a fucking businessman.
someone needs to explain a lot of things to Elon Musk.
And I'm almost wondering
Yeah.
if I'll wake up one morning and
Cybertruck's
find my
a piece
bank
of
account
shit.
empty.
But do you notice that
Well-
the hardest thing I can buy into right now, that the richest people right now are the worst fucking nerds and geeks that we grew up with. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek, but I'm socially adept. Mark Zuckerberg has never been socially adept other than being an asshole. Elon Musk is not socially adept. These guys, they take out their lack of not being able to date in high school on the rest of us. It really kind of aggravates me.
Well, I'm sure you've seen Ready Player One, right?
Yeah, I love that. Love
Right,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not socially adept.
No, not so. Yeah, yeah. But at least he built something that people wanted. Not with Musk never built a damn thing in his life. He just bought shit. If you got lucky.
I was thinking about that. When I look at Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or something like that, and granted, I'm older than they are, but I grew up in the 70s, and I wasn't a nerd by any stretch of the imagination. I played sports. I wouldn't say I was the coolest guy in school, but I hung around with those guys. They strike me as the guys I might have beaten up in high school or junior high school. And now I wish I would have had the chance had I been a bit younger.
Well, that's a trait of people who are millionaires, billionaires, own these companies. Neurodivergence and being shy or being that's a trait, and causes narcissism quite often when they come into power. When those kind of people when they take those risks and they buy these companies and they do what they do, it's a trait and then it turns into narcissism.
Well, once you've had a certain amount of success, you think you become immortal. I mean, we see it in Hollywood. We see it with athletes. Some people just can't handle it, and they start believing their press clippings, and they think they're the greatest humans in the world. And Elon Musk is clearly one of those people.
Historically, it's true, though. You think about the big monopolists that we grew up in history, Rockefeller, Carnegie. They were like that until the end of their lives. I never forget the story of Carnegie because he became this philanthropist after abusing so many people and their workers. Years later, one of the people that he fucked over, he tried to make amends with him. And he called him out. And the man looked at him. He goes, "I will see you in hell because that's where I'm going and that's where you're going." And he walked away from him. Because Carnegie was a prick in the end. And he just spent all that money because he was trying to buy people's love. But in the end, he was an evil fuck. As simple as that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Carnegie also opened how many libraries with his own private money. So he did do some good in his time.
He did the right thing in the end. I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania, so I kind of know that history. But he did the right thing in the end.
Well, wasn't there the thing about like the Johnstown Dam disaster and stuff, and like that was his club that did that? So he kind of like he built Carnegie Hall and all the libraries and stuff, kind of to try and redeem himself.
Well,
Yeah.
Johnstown got flooded. That wasn't anybody's fault. They had a huge flood and it destroyed the city.
Yeah, that was natural disaster.
It was a natural disaster.
Well, yeah, it was a dam that broke, and like I don't know, so it was something connected with him, and it was his club that owned the lake or whatever.
Well,
I don't know much about
yeah, but it wasn't Carnegie's fault.
Right.
It had to be Donald Trump's fault because it's always Donald Trump's fault. Remember, he is the president
I
now.
would
Anything that
gladly
goes
blame all
wrong,
that on Donald
it's Donald.
Yeah. The Trump-a-fucks are relentless in here tonight, and they're getting blocked like no tomorrow.
Well, because they know.
Well,
that
good.
it's screwed.
You can make me a mod if you want, and I'll start booting some people.
As soon as I can figure out how to do it, I will do it. I appreciate it, JD.
Touch on him, Mike, and look and roll down, and you'll see make a moderator.
What
Press
what
on
happened to
the
Gray?
you
What
touch
happened
it
to
and
Gray
he becomes a
Captain?
monster.
We haven't seen him in a while. Is he still around?
Yeah, we haven't seen him for a
Who?
Gray Captain.
great captain.
I don't know where Great Captain is.
JD, I'm going to disconnect you, and then I'm going to look around and figure out how to make you a mod.
Sure.
All right,
Mike,
so
Mike,
just be watching for
Mike.
it.
Yep, I sent you an email too, so look out for that.
Okay, great.
Mike, press on his name, and then the menu will come up, and then you can hit moderator.
Yeah, add
Okay.
mod. Push the little arrow to the right, and then it automatically makes him a moderator.
Bye,
All
John.
right, we'll see you later. We'll see you later, JD.
Okay.
As soon as he comes up here, I'll do that.
They're supposed to want to block every nomination from this point on. But how the fuck did the energy secretary get through today with 9 Dems voting for him?
I didn't see that one. There was too much other stuff.
The guy who's a fracking billionaire is now energy secretary, and 9 Dems voted for him. Oh, by the way,
I'm gonna-
7 Dems who voted for Kristi Noem, both Michigan senators voted for him, including Elise Stefanik. Elise, whatever, her name. The new one. She voted for Kristi Noem.
Hey, Will. Hey, Will.
Yeah, sorry.
Let me tell you something. So the freeze on all these grants and loans that Donald Trump is trying to do, there's a project that President Biden and the Department of Energy signed off on in my local area. It's a $300 million construction project, and they got a $282 million loan from the Department of Energy, and now it's on hold, and it's most likely canceled because of Donald Trump and his fucking bullshit policies. $282 million construction project, which would have put probably 1,500 people to work for a year and a half or two, and he canceled the fucking whole motherfucking thing.
Wow.
And that's because Biden did it.
Yep.
It's simple as that.
It's Joe Biden's fault.
And there's going to be, I cannot wait for the first jobs report coming from January. Oh, that's going to be a beaut coming up.
That's going to be interesting. I'm pulling somebody else up here. Who is this now? Real life. Hey, Real Life, how you doing?
I'm great.
Hi.
I'm trying to. One second. I'm sorry. There we go.
No problem.
I am so
What's up
happy.
with you?
Well, thank you for letting me up, and I love your show. And I've corresponded with you a little bit, if you remember. But do you guys? Okay, what we need to watch out for is there's just all this big stuff, and it's in the press, and it takes up 24 hours a day. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. I'm sorry.
It's all
No, go ahead.
all the big stuff is deflection.
Right.
Now, stuff that we're not seeing.
There was a
Right.
meeting last week in the White House over women's health. How many women were in the room?
None. Zero.
That's right. I don't know even if there were any people of color there.
Of course not.
Not in Trump's administration, no. Has he hired any people of color? I don't know. Other than Kash Patel.
That's if Cash Patel gets through.
He's not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and
So,
What happened to Byron Donalds and all his homies? They all got fucking screwed.
yeah. So, real life, are you nervous right now, or are you feeling more comfortable now that Donald Trump continues to fail?
I know he's failing in a way, but I know he's getting a lot more through than we know about. I feel good that other countries are fighting against him. I went through a couple of months of real severe depression, and I actually last week I spent 3 days crying, and then
Wow.
and then this and then after that was done, I came out with this major fighting spirit. You know,
Good for you.
we are going to fight this, and I'll do my share. I'll do my share. And right
Well,
now-
I think we are seeing a lot more pushback.
We've all been like in mourning since November 5th. It was hard, and we took it. We took it hard. You took it hard. You have a lot of more skin in the game than I do, honestly, as a woman.
and I'm lucky, right?
Yeah, but the point is, like, we sat there and went, we couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe people would do that. Now we're in the find out stage. We're sitting there going, okay, now he's backpedaling, now we push. He's backpedaling.
Right.
It's time to keep pushing him, push the Republicans, push the Democrats, because they're finding out that everything that he wanted to do is horrific. It's reality.
What I've been saying is that we are like frogs in a pot of cold water. And every time Trump does something, they're raising the temperature to see how we'll react. If we jump out of the pot of water every time they do something, that's how they're going to react. I feel like the last 4 years, I feel like Biden's administration, for all the good, did not happen. I feel like that part of my life has been cut out, and I'm back in 2020.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I mean, a lot of good was accomplished during Joe Biden. I think the problem we have is we don't necessarily like how they handled the Republican Party and Donald Trump in particular. Had they done it correctly, we wouldn't be in this position right now. Had it not been for Merrick Garland or Joe Biden going old school or Schumer, Nancy Pelosi playing it the high road. They could, as much as they did during those 4 years, there's some things they could have done to help us avoid this situation. And now it just seems like they're back relaxing on the beach going, well, what the fuck could we do? And I think we're a little annoyed by that.
Yeah, and we have to. I'm Michelle Obama. I love her. It's no longer the time to go high when they go low. It's my opinion. Is I am. We're going lower. We're digging the trenches.
Oh, Michelle Obama said when they go low, we go lower.
From now on, yeah. Because it doesn't work with them, and the Democrats are not fighting for us enough. Jasmine Crockett is a rock star. Love her.
But one thing I was going to bring up real quick, what I hate recently, I've been seeing leftists come out and go, "Where's Kamala Harris? Why isn't she doing anything?" Hey, you told her to go fuck herself. She's just hiding because you told the woman, as one person put it, she made the application. You told her to go to hell, and now you're asking her to come back and do what? You Jill Stein voters, shut up.
Yeah. Jasmine Crockett, I love her, and I think she's a rock star too. But she said something I disagree with, and I did a TikTok about it. She said that Donald Trump was a thug. And in my mind, Donald Trump is not a thug. He's a punk-ass bitch. All the thugs are around him, manipulating him, pulling the strings to get him to do their bidding. Donald Trump's not smart enough. He doesn't have the ability to create strategies or even know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't read. Donald Trump is weak and malleable, and he has thugs around him that are making this happen. And I think that's, one of the more frustrating things. If it was just Donald Trump we were fighting against, that'd be one thing. But we don't know who's in the background and who's pulling strings and what their intentions are, or even if they're competent.
Well, there are people out there who don't seem to do anything. I'm going to use a personal example, if I may.
Sure.
I had a boyfriend. When I broke up with him, he got all the people around me to bully me. And somebody with I got restraining orders. But he's the guy that everybody goes around. He ends up free and clear, and everybody around him goes to jail or or gets pardoned. But these people use the others, and he's done it. It's all set up. Project 2025. The reason they could go start on day one and do what they're doing is because they've been planning it for so long. And
well, real life, I will tell you this. I understand what it's like to be bullied, and I understand the situation you're in. Next time you have a problem with them, just say, I'm going to give your full name to the Rational Boomer, and he's going to blow this shit all over the place, and you'll find out what fucking bullying's about, bitch.
Oh, I've been trying to get it out on TikTok, but you know what I decided to do? I decided at 57 to go back to school and become a lawyer.
That's good. But in the meantime, I can get it out there. So let me know.
Thank you again for letting me up here. It's been a pleasure. And
no problem. Thank you very much.
I'll see you again.
Well, we will see you soon. Real life. And I love bringing people up out of the blue, even if we get a Trumplefuck now and again. She brought up bullying. And what this all comes down to with Donald Trump and even the Republicans is all about bullying. It's that simple. They're trying to bully their way through things to create chaos, to try to gain control by creating a mess. And I think that's why we all have to be cognizant of don't play into exactly what they want us to do. We've got to keep our calm, and we got to continue to fight and push forward. That's really the only way to deal with a bully. Slap the fucker in the mouth, and don't get hyped up.
The Trumplefucks are trying to bully their way through here tonight in the chat, and they're fucking losing.
Well, they always lose. I mean,
they're losing.
My goal is always an hour, to get through an hour on this thing, and we're coming up on an hour. And Jen, last several times we got to an hour 45, which was the limit I wanted to go. So they haven't had much luck trying to break through. We've got Rebecca, we've got TJ the plumber, we have now JD the farmer out there probably crushing some heads. So it's good to see. It's good to see. That's what people have to understand when they listen to this live. It's one thing for me to sit up here and talk, or the rest of these folks to talk. But in order to maintain this live, it takes a lot of work with the likes of TJ the plumber and Rebecca and everybody else that's a moderator. They got to shut these people down. Otherwise, they will shut this down quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I have a lot of respect and appreciation for those folks that are the moderators. They don't get paid. They're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. So I appreciate it. And you're doing a good job, as always.
I know. I've made like 43 cents from lives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm rolling in the dough. It's like 43
We're rolling
cents.
the dough up in this bitch. 43 cents.
Yeah. 43 cents. Okay, I'm gonna pull this guy up. He goes by the name of Another Attorney.
Oh,
and I'm not necessarily a huge fan of attorneys, but if they're on our side, we could talk. Another Attorney, are you with us?
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh, wow. I don't know how I requested it because I wasn't cognizant of having requested it, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm on your side. And
Great.
And I'm very happy to hear you guys because you're calming me down a little bit because it's
Okay.
easy to become frantic and distressed. And even though I said I wasn't going to do it because I went through that the first 4 years. And this time I said, no, I'm above that. But no, it's getting really scary. And he keeps surprising even me who had absolutely no confidence in him.
Now, you're an attorney?
Yes.
What kind of attorney are you?
I'm a civil law attorney. I do litigation. I do
Okay.
a lot of real estate law. I go to court. Basically general go fight in court stuff. Contract law. I do contract law.
Okay. Now, what part of the country are you in?
California.
California. Okay. Now, what you're seeing out of Elon Musk, I realize this isn't probably your area, but as an attorney who knows the law, we're trying to determine what laws Elon Musk is breaking if he's getting, by breaking into these systems and into these buildings and trying to take control. Is there anything that comes to mind in your mind that tells you, I mean, we all know it's not right, but is there any legal ramifications at some point when Donald Trump isn't holding the throttle?
Actually, I haven't looked up any federal codes, but
Okay.
but that's interesting. I think I will now.
Okay.
It would be we would have to search for any codes that establish the agencies where he is trying to basically gain access to. And
Right.
the code that established that agency probably might have said who has the power to take action in it. However, I think what's going to happen is Trump, who basically is lawless, is going to say, well, that's okay because I'm giving him the authority because I've made
Right.
him a head of Doge, and which, by the way, I recently heard that is a copy of a, World War II organization. I don't know if we can use that word. Can we in lives?
World War II?
Don't
Let's not
say
use
any
it.
of the
We
words
don't want to
'cause
get him
I
banned.
got in trouble.
But it's a copy of one of those. It's exactly like it. So that's it's frightening. But I'll look it
Well,
up,
somebody-
and if I find anything, I'll post it to you.
Absolutely, I would appreciate that. Somebody else come to me. Old Soul came to me, as a matter of fact, and that is, she was saying that she heard that Doge was basically an existing department called what is it? U.S. U.S. It was the digital. They deal with websites and stuff like that. God, what was it? USD something, US Digital I or USDI or USDA, not USDA. That's something different. Anyway, but I hadn't heard that he pulled any trick like that and just changed the name of an existing department and then put this name on it, and that's how he's gaining access. I don't think that's true. We would have heard about that if that were the case. But there are some similarities in what he's doing and what is supposed to be done with that organization. I don't know. It's the whole thing is weird. My point is that right now Donald Trump can say, I'm the president, you can't touch him. But say Donald Trump gets impeached or he keels over or something like that happens, then all of a sudden I would suspect that Elon Musk and all the people helping him in this might be exposed to some possible crimes that, if you don't have clearance, if you've messed around with government systems, I don't care who says it's okay, that's just not fucking legal.
Well, Mike,
Exactly. Eventually,
Mike-
it could come back to bite them. But the problem is that we impeached them the first time around, and it was.
Well, I know that. I know that we impeached him the first time around. If he gets impeached this time around, it isn't going to be a Democratic-led thing. It's going to be a Republican-led thing because of the damage he's doing to the Republican Party. I don't know that that's going to happen. But if he gets into an impeachment situation this time, he probably will be convicted because it will be the Republicans doing it. So, I know what you're saying. But let me ask you this. Some other people have said, since our numbers, our information has been exposed, what about a massive class action suit? A million people say, you broke into the system, you've tainted whatever security was there, now we want to sue you. And, a million people want to sue him. It could be interesting.
I saw that for the first time today, but I remember from when I was in law school that there is a case that a president was tried, and the Supreme Court ended up saying that we really can't go after a president legally. We can't sue a president for actions that he took in the course of performing his duties as a president.
I'm not talking about suing the president. I'm not talking. It was Elon Musk.
Yeah, it wasn't a
Elon.
president.
Oh.
He's a private citizen.
Oh.
He's a private citizen that directed people to break the law.
That's a good idea because he
Not
doesn't have, well, he's going to try to say that he's got government protection,
He doesn't.
but at least it'll get some traction until some federal court decides whether or not to approve the class. So it's going to have a hurdle to get approved by the court.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Doge is not a lawful organization. So
No, it's
for
not.
them to do that, and I don't know how they got U.S. Marshal protection, but it's unlawful. They can't. They have no authority to do any of that. So if millions of Americans that are pissed off about their information getting shared, which they should be, myself included, everybody in here, then that to me seems like the biggest civil lawsuit of all time.
No,
We'd
it's
But
have
here's the
to
frustration.
prove- We'd have to prove that it was accessed, and we'd have to prove some damage,
That'll be easy.
or some straight, like you said earlier, we'd have to prove that a law was violated, and as a result of that law being violated, we have a right to sue on that law.
Right, right.
So
It's going to be, that's maybe the least of our problems. We've got to get him shut down, either canceled or whatever the fuck we got to do to stop him. And frankly, at this point, the only people who can do any stopping of anything is the Republicans, because they have the control in the House and the Senate.
And you know what else needs to happen? I'll tell you what needs to happen. Whatever U.S. Marshals went to those government agencies and forced them to do this, they should be arrested immediately for unlawful activity. They don't have the
But here's
right.
the thing:
They don't
as
have
long
the
as
right.
Donald Trump is the president and he controls the DOJ, which he shouldn't do, but he does, there really is no law, at least for him, and that's the frightening thing.
For him, though, but U.S. Marshals broke the law by enforcing something that's not lawful. So those U.S. Marshals should be arrested and go to prison, or be tried and convicted because they broke the law.
They should,
Yeah.
but they won't, because if anybody tries to do anything in the FBI through the DOJ, Donald Trump will just have them fired.
Well, I understand that, Eric. I understand that. But at this point, not everybody in the FBI is a sycophant to Donald Trump. So,
trying to get rid of FBI
Yet.
agents. I mean, they're already trying to go down the line and remove field directors, directors of agents themselves. They've been warned they're going to get fired, and everyone's going, I have cases. I'm working on criminals. And you want to fire
Right.
us because what? We've been here for years doing our job? I mean, they're not kidding. If Cash Patel becomes FBI director, they will clean house of seasoned FBI agents who don't give a fuck about politics, but care about protecting America, and they're going to get flushed out for what? That's scary.
Yeah.
That is the FAA thing. It would be worse if they had.
Well, they're talking about firing 6,000 people, and that's about a third of the FBI. And I've heard some people talk about it, and they're saying that could be disastrous, terroristic-wise, and
yeah.
leaving this country pretty unsafe when you do away with that many people. Another attorney, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it immensely. And get back to us if you find out anything different that we don't already know.
thank you. I will. I'll do some research and then tag you on, or go on your posts and
Come on the live.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll look for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, man.
All right, that's another attorney. And somebody else got a note from TJ, said somebody is
Daniel,
dying to come on. There we go.
7968.
Okay.
There
All
he
right.
is.
I punched him up.
Hope I don't regret this.
Yeah, I hope we don't either.
Daniel,
You never
I'm
know
looking
in
at
this
you,
world.
You're not gonna
What's up,
regret it.
Daniel?
How you guys doing?
Good.
We're doing well.
And I'm not a Trumplican,
Trumplifuck.
so no need to worry there. I'd like to talk a little bit about the narcissism, if you don't mind. That'd be okay?
Sure.
Yeah. So one thing you got to keep in mind about that personality disorder is they have really, really low self-esteem. And
Absolutely.
the things that he's doing,
Insecure.
very, very much so. The things he's doing, it's not smoke and mirrors. I was in a narcissistic relationship for 24 years. It sucked. But what I came to realize over time was that there's a lot of smoke being puffed all the time. And once you set boundaries, which we're starting to do, then that usually dissipates. However, it doesn't mean that there's not a lot of anxiety around it. So that's what everybody experiences all the time. You know, he does a bunch of shit.
We can put guidelines up. We don't get rid of it, though. The narcissism will always be there till they die.
Right.
I know this from my dad. It'll always be there. It'll just be more limited because their power will be more limited.
Right. But you understand then from your own experience that it creates a lot of anxiety with people around him.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
So he's destructive in that way. And so I think it's important for us to band together. And is the attorney still here? She's not, is she?
No, she's gone.
Shit. So I was going to ask, it is constitutional to say that even the president is not above the law, and there can be lawsuits filed against him.
Well,
that's what they say.
Not this one right now, but I think once, he's got 18 different states filing lawsuits against him already.
Yeah.
And that's legitimate. And it's also encouraging because we know that they're not going to put up with it. And you didn't, maybe, Rational Boomer, with your father, did you put up with it, or did you eventually set boundaries?
Yeah, I set some boundaries when I got big enough and he wasn't big enough. I said, listen, motherfucker, here's the deal. You're going to stop doing this with me and my brother and my sisters, or I'm going to kick your ass. And it was a little unsophisticated and a little crass, but that's the only way he could respond to it. Like you said, they're insecure, they're fearful. I had to scare them, is what I had to do.
Right. Yes, and that's what's going to have to happen with Trump. And so, there's not only Jasmine Crockett and AOC, and then there's another fellow.
Eric Swalwell?
Yes.
Or Jamie Raskin, who was on it today.
So Crockett and Swalwell, both attorneys, right?
Right.
And both very good at what they do. So I think if we back them a little bit more and at least share their content as often as possible, just keep talking, keep getting the word out, keep setting our boundaries. It's funny that what I see in my head is this, the United States is really not that big. And he's taken on Canada, he's taken on Greenland, he's taken on Mexico, he's taken on Panama. I mean, down the line, right? We're surrounded.
Yeah.
Right? And so even those countries are kind of getting together and say, I think there'll probably be an alliance formed at some point to say, you're not going to do this.
Well,
and what's great, in a way, this is going to sound crazy, but what's great is that if he keeps hiring incompetents, then it happens quicker.
Yeah,
the deposition
exactly.
happens quicker, right? He'll be deposed sooner.
Yeah.
That dickhead JD Vance today said that whatever Donald Trump's will is about Greenland, he's going to push it on them no matter what. I don't know what.
I know, but when at the end of the day, that guy's spineless.
Well, yeah, I know that, but they're basically saying that we can just go ahead and start World War III. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to take Greenland if that's what we want to do.
Well,
Happen.
well, exactly right. Exactly right. And he sent Rubio down to Panama and says, we're going to take the Panama Canal back. Here's the thing.
You know
He
why
can
he's doing
rattle.
that, right?
Well, because, they're suing him for money he owes for taxes down there, and he's trying to get revenge. That's what everything
His
Donald Trump
hotel is in
does.
litigation.
It's
Right.
saber rattling. It's saber rattling.
It's saber rattling. He'll never accomplish either one of those things. It will cause some. It'll take away some of the goodwill we have with Denmark and Greenland and Panama, of course. But I hope he keeps talking about this because I know it won't happen. So he'll continue to look like a loser, which will further crush him ultimately. Because there'll come a point where he just can't talk his way out of it anymore. And that's when narcissists typically lose their shit. They either run or they implode.
And you can attest to this. They're pretty charismatic people, right?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got this base, and they're following him. But once things start to affect his base, his stupid-ass policies, which are pretty much all of them are, then they start to say, hey, man, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Now, what we also have to realize is the psychology behind this is that you keep repeating the same things over and over and over and reinforcing the idea that whatever cockamamie policies he comes up with are realistic. He's going to keep that base until it affects them directly.
Right.
And then they start to push back. So yes, it sucks. Yes. It'll purge itself eventually, but there is going to be some pain. And then, God, I had something else I was going to just say.
Don't you think this country needs a little pain? Don't you think the country needs a little bit of pain to learn a fucking lesson?
That is it. So, if you don't mind, I would kind of like to bring in another type of illustration. If you look at, I look at the Bible as a historical account, right? And if you see over and over and over how his people fuck around and find out,
right?
And it's just an illustration. And I'm sure there's other writings out there. I'll just use that because that's the one I'm most familiar with. But there's always that. There's always this.
Well, here's what I know for sure: narcissists never last. Narcissists always crash and burn. Always. Donald Trump's lasted longer than I honestly thought he would, but he too will crash and burn, just like every other narcissist.
He's really good at what he does. But he owes so much money. He probably owes more than he's worth.
No question. And let's just say
he built his empire by bankrupting himself 6 times, but he wrote a book saying that's how you do it. He worked the system.
Exactly.
He didn't write the book.
No, he didn't write the book.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Someone else, but I get you.
Yeah.
He said, here's how you manipulate the system. This is the art of the deal. Well, the art of the deal is horse shit at the end of the day. But he's really good at it. And he has people around him that keep supporting that.
Blackmail.
It's always been that.
Here's the thing, though. When people say Donnie's really smart, he's really charismatic, he knows really how to be what he is, understand that's only for a faction of the people. That's for like 30% of the Republican Party. And it also includes the people who are susceptible to bullies, the cowards. And I'm talking about the Republican politicians at this point. They're able to be bullied, and they don't push back, and that's why Donald Trump has success with them. For the vast majority of the people in this country, they don't buy the bullshit. Unfortunately, they didn't come out to vote, so here's why we're
50%
fucked.
50% of them did.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so, I don't think he's unintelligent. I just think that I feel like there's some threats happening behind the scenes that we don't see. Maybe even some life threats with governing authorities.
Oh,
I'm gonna say
I think
within
he's
the
not very.
legislature. I think there's probably some threats happening to members of the legislature, of course, and we don't know that, but I'm assuming that there is.
Well, his art of the deal is blackmail, so of course there's
Exactly.
he has everything on them. It's just what does he have on them? And is he,
Right.
Well, what
is
Donald
he
Trump
not?
did, what Donald Trump did is exposed corruption in Congress that's always been there, but now it's been brought to the top by the dumb fuck that won't shut his mouth. So, I think a lot of what's going on behind the scenes in Congress have been going on for a while, but now they've got somebody to hold it over their head. So now they're worried.
Right. And you know as well as I do that, gosh, now I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Derailed.
That's all,
Sorry, guys.
that's all, that's all right. That's all right.
So, I don't know. He's going to lose steam eventually.
Well, he's losing
Oh,
steam
it was-
already,
it was
I think.
Okay, here it is. Narcissistic supply. So a narcissist, if you know your father, they live and thrive and function only in chaos. They have to
Right.
have it in order to live and function. They can't function any
Right.
other way. And so if he can keep creating that, then he can keep fueling his own narcissism and ultimately his ego to keep him confident.
Well, that's why narcissists crash, because at their peak they have everybody impressed by them and giving him adulation, and he's got some success and he's young, but they all get old and their success starts to wane. People get closer to him and realize who he really is, and then he doesn't have the power
big
he
fat
once
prick.
had, and he doesn't know what to do with that. What's that?
He's a big fat prick.
Well, he is that, but he's always been a big fat prick. People are willing to give him grace because he's wealthy and famous. That's how some people react to people like that. You can see it
know.
in neighborhoods. You can see it in politicians. I knew a guy where I lived for a number of years. He had a lot of money, and he had a lot of money because he ran a collection agency or a series of collection agencies. So he basically was a bottom feeder, but he had a lot of money. Everybody loved him when he was in front of him, and they all talked shit behind his back. None of it's real. None of it's real. It's just about kissing up to somebody who has what you don't, and hopefully it'll rub off on you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
TJ will
And
attest to
the
this.
only reason I really, sorry, go ahead, Rebecca.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
The reason
Rebecca.
I wanted to come on, okay, yeah, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
TJ will attest to this. I lived, and my entire life was a narcissist for 9 years. Like,
Oh,
a
now TJ
hardcore-
seems better than that. TJ seems like a good guy.
Before TJ.
It wasn't me.
And TJ is actually the reason I was able to get away from him. But I lived with a narcissist for 9 years, like hardcore narcissists.
I got speed, girl.
And
It sucks.
yeah, it does. But but the narcissist mentality is they have to have control over everything, even when you don't think they do or know they do, and even when they're being the sweetest person in the world. It's
Yeah.
all about the control of you. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
so everything this man does as a narcissist, like when he tries to throw you a bone, it's because he thinks he's gonna oh no, this is it's all about control. Everything is about control. Everything is about control.
But don't you think that's breaking down now a little bit, though? Instead of these countries
I
that
totally-
were afraid of
yes,
them.
For sure. That it's definitely breaking down.
I mean, you've got Canada and Mexico just laughing at them. You've got other countries in
Right,
Europe
but-
laughing at them.
But as a narcissist, he didn't think that would ever happen because he thought
No.
he would just but he thought he would put those
John
control
said it
people
before he
thought
even
that-
got started.
and nothing would ever he would just be in control.
Yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
Scheinbaum knew it before he even started. She's a badass.
Yeah, she is.
But the reason I came on wasn't to just talk about things I know. It was just to maybe give some encouragement. And I'm glad that you understand, or at least two of you understand how narcissism works, and that ultimately it comes to ruin. And it sucks for everybody around them, but it's just part of the deal, man.
Yeah,
and societies and governments
will
have
crash.
to. There is a lot of corruption in government. Our system's been broken for a long time, but I think this may be the catalyst that helps us to fix some of these fucked up systems that we have.
I agree. Out of bad things come good things, and maybe that's what we're headed for.
And also
A cleaning up of our Congress.
Also, I think
and
that
the
people,
whole system. He's going to expose some shit, which kind of
absolutely.
anyway. It's a shame that somebody this underhanded and piece of shitty is doing it, but it still needs to happen because we are getting taxed at 50%, whether we know it or not. It's not just income tax, you know that.
Right.
We get taxed every time we turn around.
Absolutely.
It's like the tax man in Popeye.
Daniel, thanks for joining us. I'm going to try to get some other folks, but I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me.
Thank you, Daniel. One good thing he has done, whether we like it or not, is that by ripping out the bones of the federal government, how it functions, people are realizing, oh, government does do shit. My money doesn't vanish. It's part of the FAA and the paywall and protecting this, protecting that. People are beginning to realize that the money helps the bones and everything function. Because the thing that Republicans have always said for years, government doesn't work because it's too big. Well, guess what? You need this type of government for it to work. Now that he's ripping everything out, everyone's going, what's going on? I thought, yeah, that's what you paid for. You don't get it. Now you're seeing it. You're seeing basically he's taking it out and we're all limping along. Anyway, I have to call it a night, guys. You take care. Appreciate you letting me in, Mike. Be safe, guys.
Talk to you later, Will. All right, we have somebody on with us now that's been on before. Oliver's mom. How you doing?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi. I can hear you fine.
Good. One of the things that I'm worried about with Musk getting into, is the Department of the OPM. That's where a lot of our government employees get their paychecks from. And when he gets in there, he's going to have their direct deposit accounts and all that kind of stuff. And, these people are going to be in real danger if he sells that information to someone.
Do you think that was the ultimate goal, is to access the payment system for the federal employees as opposed to all the payments throughout the country, Social Security, Medicare? You think that was the intent?
Well, I think so. I think one of the things that he thinks he can do is that he'll be able to get in there and stop payments to people for departments that he thinks that shouldn't be there. He'll be able to go in and stop them getting their paychecks, or even stop them getting their retirement if he chooses to. I'm not sure if he could do that from there, but that might be why he wants to get into OPM.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's obviously some nefarious reason he wants to get in there, and it's very like I said before. You would have a safeguard in the DOJ if it were an independent agency, but now with Donald Trump as president, it's not independent. Donald Trump controls it. So I feel like there is no law in Washington, D.C. right now. People can break the laws, but it doesn't matter because no one's going to go after them.
Well, the bigger question is, when is Congress going to act on this?
Well, I've been saying for a while that they're not going to act any sooner than they think they absolutely have to. As long as they think they can let him get away with doing a bunch of this stuff, whether it's Musk or Trump, and it's not politically bad for them yet, they'll let it keep going until They crossed that tipping point.
There
And
might
then
be
when they
some.
start worrying about the next election, that's when they're going to probably do something. Or when public opinion is that far bad that they're like, oh, we have to do something now.
How much worse can public opinion get, though, Eric? Really?
Yeah, I think they might be doing some things behind the scene where they're maybe seeing how many people they can get together within Congress before they step out and actually take action. Because, you know, they have to have a bunch of people willing to do it, a bunch of Congress members willing to do it. And until they know they have that, I don't think they're going to step up and do anything.
You know, but I've seen these kind of ploys before, and here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to fuck with these people's paychecks. That's what they do to test the waters of what they can get away with. So they'll fuck with their paychecks and underpay them or whatever it is, and that's going to be the true measure of them seeing what they can get away with.
Yeah,
I think so
absolutely.
too. I mean, I'm
Absolutely.
concerned about Social Security because he can get into that now with all of the parts that he has with people's information and everything. He knows who's getting Social Security now. He knows who's getting Medicare now. You know, he can get into that too.
Well, I tell you what, if he messes with Social Security, it affects so many people. I would get a lot of protection from Elon Musk because there's going to be a lot of very angry people, and they aren't going to take it very well. I'm certain of that. Oliver's mom, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You're more than welcome anytime. There's somebody else that's been aching to get on. Let's just see here. Okay. This guy goes by John Wayne. He's been begging to get on, so you're on, John. What's up?
Hey, guys. Good evening.
Good.
Happy to
Good
talk
evening.
with boomers. I'm a Gen Xer
Thank
here.
you.
Well,
I'm the only boomer in the room.
We're all Gen Xers.
Well, I was, graduated high school in 90 and supported Ross Perot and veteran of the Gulf War. And the boomer generation, just took the lies and the promise of the greatest generation about, we would be fine as America by protecting the world and the dollar would always keep us supreme. And come on, the lies are just so, how are we not all sick of it? I mean, the USAID is a black book of not voted on, right? It's just voted as a single line item. Nobody investigate what's in it. And the fact is, we all know USAID was involved in drug running with the CIA in the 60s and the 80s. How has this organization not been gotten rid of? How are we not sick of the corruption? Shouldn't the State Department, who has ambassadors in every country, be the one that says, hey, this is what we should support as supporting this country and doing whatever we want to support? Not a black book.
Are you saying right now that the USAID is doing no good at all and is being misused and money is being pilfered? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%. Just like the Gulf of Tonkin incident didn't happen.
Well, 100% that it's all negative shit going on with. Now, I'm with you. If there is dark money going someplace where it shouldn't be going, I'm for it and it should be stopped. But I got to tell you, John, I'm not trusting Elon with that fucking decision. If we need to investigate it, let's investigate it. But if Elon tells me it's bad and he's going to shut it off, I'm thinking, okay, he just bought Twitter for $44 billion and turned it into a $10 billion entity. This motherfucker is not honest. So I have to question his decision making here. And I don't think it's his decision to make.
I'm not talking about Elon. I'm talking about what the
we
facts
are talking
were.
about Elon.
Why don't we know what is inside of the budget of USAID, for example? How about the president of Venezuela came out this morning and said, yeah, the money that USAID is giving to folks in Venezuela is actually going to counter government movements that can carry weapons and do promote terrorism.
John,
I didn't vote on that. Did you vote on that?
John,
I'm not cool with that.
who did
I don't
you
want to
vote
fuck with anybody's
Who did
country
you
John,
vote
anymore.
for
John,
president?
John,
Who
you
did
got to
vote
stop
for
talking so
president?
Yeah,
somebody else can
100%. I
talk.
said get that out.
John, who did
Go
you
ahead,
vote for
Rebecca.
president in this election?
Trump.
Okay.
And how you liking that now? How you liking that now, John? You
How
were
about
begging to get
Panama?
on here.
Yeah, Panama canceled China in 24 hours. How do I like it? How about I like winning? How about what America has put its blood into? It's okay for us to protect ours.
Yeah, John.
What's wrong with
John-
that? Seriously.
Panama canceled China in what way?
The president of Panama spoke personally and said he informed the Chinese that they were not renewing the contract. It's done.
Do you have a link for that? Because, here's the thing with Trumplefucks. They say things that they hear from somebody else who heard it from somebody else. I get facts thrown in my face all the time that are not facts. I have never heard that, and I look through the news all day, every day.
I
don't trust.
I'm on my iPhone, and so if I switch out of this, I'd lose you guys. But
No, you can.
we're all
you can-
grown ups. You guys all can Google it.
because you wanna
Panama
get
did
out of
cancel
it.
China.
John,
Now it's going to be 18 months, right?
John, you
Because
can
they have a contract.
you can teacup out of it and send the link in the chat.
I'll do that after I get off the call. Don't kick me off yet.
Yeah.
But look, hey,
with David Breath.
So if you're Gen Xers, how about the same thing with the global war on terror? It was freaking Saudi Arabia. It wasn't Iraq, and we got bamboozled. I personally lost brothers. I personally paid a price I wasn't willing to pay,
Yeah.
knowing
George
now the
W.
truth.
Bush did that. George
Yeah,
W.
exactly.
Bush did that.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like John McCain and Mitch McConnell from Kentucky. I'm sick of all these damn blue hair politicians that are both sides of the aisle are the same.
Hey, John.
Now, wait a
think
minute.
that- Do you think that we're not tired of these old motherfuckers too? Because we are.
Well, then why aren't you excited that USAID is going away? They literally
Because
ran
USAID
drugs in the Vietnam War.
Because
Tom Cruise made a movie
USAID
about it.
Because
Oh, yeah.
USAID.
Well, Tom Cruise made a movie about it. It's got to be real. John, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
You're talking about Saudi Arabia
Yeah.
and their involvement in their attacks on us.
Right.
Donald Trump and the royalty of Saudi Arabia are best buddies. They're fucking best buddies. How do you like that Donald Trump, your Lord and Savior, is buddies with the people that you're saying are our enemy?
Well, first of all of our politicians suck up to the Saudi Arabians to protect Europe, right? Let's be honest about that. But let's see where it plays out in the next couple of years with Saudi Arabia. They are assholes.
Oh, you think Donald Trump's got something up his sleeve that he's just playing the long game? Really? Come on, John. He keeps fucking failing. Everything he does, he fails. He got pushed back by Canada, and I suppose you're going to tell me he brought Canada and Mexico to its knees. They laughed at that stupid son of a bitch.
First of all, Mexico
and he backed
did.
out because he fucked up.
Now, come on. Mexico's putting 10,000
Oh, come
troops
on.
on the border. That border's going to be
They
locked
had
tight.
10,000 troops at the border. Like, they didn't put shit. They literally did not give him anything.
They actually announced that. Let's not act like we're not watching the
Had
news.
10,000 troops at the border. What are you talking about?
There's
Like,
no
they gave
army,
him
Mexican
nothing.
army presence at the border. There will be.
Nothing.
Let me ask you this, John. Donald Trump crowed about the tariffs, right? He told us it would get our way with these people, which it hasn't. Donald Trump said, okay, this is going to make us all kind of money. And I'd love to hear if you think tariffs make us money, because that's fucking ridiculous. But he said it was going to make us all kinds of money, $1 trillion it was going to make us. So why did he back off of it so quick? Why didn't he
That's a
just
great
shove it
question.
down our throats and make the fucking money he claimed? We saw the stock market go into shit. We saw people saying they're going to have to stop manufacturing. The whole concept was stupid. Everybody around him said it was stupid. The media said it was the dumbest trade war in history, and you want to support that. God bless you, John, but I think you're missing the boat here.
Now, let me reply. Guys
Go
like
ahead.
Seth, Rubio, those Gen Xers, right? Trump means well. I feel personally like he just wants to win. He's not nuanced enough, which is why his first administration was not successful. To answer your question,
wait, I'm sorry.
hold on.
Let
me answer your question.
Does that mean he's fucking stupid as fuck?
Let me answer your question. With the Canadians, for example, the oil that we buy actually at a discount rate under world WTI value. The book rate's supposed to be $72 a barrel. We actually purchased it at $60 a barrel because it's poison, right? It's got sulfur in it, and the Canadians don't even have. Christ. They don't even have any refineries. They don't. They don't have refineries. They don't have
John, I'm not going
to refine.
I'm not going. John, I'm not going to let you talk bullshit. I mean, that's the problem with Trump Vox. No, true. It's not true. Fuck you.
Yes, it is true.
Holy crap!
I'm not listening to that shit. I'm just not listening to that shit. This whole platform isn't for Trump Fox anyway. I gave him some grace to let him talk a little bit, and he made himself look foolish again. It's absolutely ridiculous. John, thank you for coming on, but I'm not listening to lies that have been fed to you by Donald Trump and the other dumb motherfuckers.
That's why about 30 seconds in, I said, "Who did you vote for?"
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I wasn't sure at first. And I don't mind Trump folks coming on if they're normal human beings. Don't start screaming conspiracy theories or bullshit that you don't know, that you heard from somebody.
He almost sounded like intelligent for a minute, and then I'm like, wait a minute, let me ask this question.
Well, I don't think he was dumb. I just think he is twisted in his mind.
Totally misinformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had to ask the tough question because it wasn't. There was no way. There was no way he was a Trump.
Right. I'm bringing somebody else up because I need to cleanse the palate here. Somebody normal, somebody decent, and I'm praying against prayers. Shanna.
Yes, sir.
Shanna, are you there? Are you normal?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. God. Thank you. What can I do for you?
Well, I like to watch YouTube a lot as far as Legal AF and Midas Touch. And from what I've learned today, the Democratic caucus, they are trying to fight against what Elon did just yesterday, and they're trying to fight against it. It's just that it's going to take them a while to do it. That's what I've learned today.
Well, it's nice to know that they're trying.
Donna, can you turn down the background noise, whatever's going on in your background?
Okay, just a minute.
Or have safelight.com send me some money.
Okay. I think I turned it down a little bit. There we go.
There you go.
Sorry.
I think
well, Shana, have you been frustrated by the Democrats too up to this point?
Yeah. Well, a lot of things that they've done that seemed rightly stupid to me, and I wanted to. Oh, I wish I could just go up there and punch them all in the face until they start listening. And that's all of them, including Trump. I agree. I would like to rip his eyes out. Is what I want to do. Oh man,
Shana, you don't sound like a especially vicious young woman.
I try not to be.
Okay, good. But if you see John Wayne in the comments, just stay away from him because it might pull the monster out in you.
John Wayne is gone.
I already screamed before I even got pulled up to be able to talk to you. I wanted to rip his nose off his face if I could find it. Because man, he made me angry. I ripped up a couple of pieces of paper to calm myself down.
Yeah, I couldn't take it.
Well, you'd be able to rip his nose off only if you would be able to sift through a dirty diaper. So that's probably not going to happen.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know wishes are wishes, but you know.
What
yeah,
part of the country are you in?
Alaska.
Alaska.
You're in Alaska? How
Yes,
old
sir.
a young woman are you, roughly? What decade?
I would be a Gen Xer.
Really? You sound younger
I'm
than that.
52 years old.
Holy God.
Yeah. Well, that's my voice for you.
Yeah. What's it like up in Alaska? I know Alaska's kind of red too. Is it tough for somebody like you to exist in a state like that? Well, there's nobody around because there's so few people.
Yeah, right. I have a neighbor that's behind us that is Trumpian and very blatantly Trumpian. And then there's like 10 of them down the road that do like to pull crap, and their children like to pull pranks. I had
great.
one pull a couple of pranks just 2 days ago, acting like there were cats out there and meowing so loud they were thinking they would get me outside.
Wow, that's a little weird. You're not ripping off any body parts in Alaska, are you?
No.
Good. Good for you. No. I understand the frustration.
I just these kids, these people, I don't know what kind of brain cells they got it, or even if they have any.
Yeah. It is rough to talk to somebody that's such a low intellect. I mean, we get that all the time when we talk to Trump folks. Let me ask all of you a question, including you, Shauna. The fact that the tariffs aren't going into effect on Tuesday, do any of you feel disappointed by that?
I do.
I do.
I really do. Yeah. I'm really disappointed that we're not going to let Donald Trump destroy the economy and destroy the country so we can revive this in the name of our fucking righteous movement.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. You know, we need Donald Trump to self-destruct and crash, and that would have made it much quicker. And now that that's not going to happen, we're going to have to wait for something else. So to some extent, I am disappointed.
Actually, sir, I think he's suffering from some kind of Alzheimer's. I know it's close to its end. So I know he's only got. I'm pretty sure he's only got a couple of months left.
Well, yeah, it's Trump.
Really?
The way he's acting, I've had a friend that had Alzheimer's, and after the long ride and whatnot, he was just like Trump is right now.
Yeah.
Bad. Very bad. And
it's PDS.
I don't think it's going to be very much longer, and he's going to be dying, and these guys are the ones we have to worry about. Stephen Miller, and we're going to have to worry about dipshit Elon. And
I think
those guys are the ones I'm afraid of. Because they are a little bit smarter than he is, and they're not going to back down as fast.
Well, they know that he has Trump dementia syndrome, PDS.
Yeah, no kidding. Eric, you were going to say something.
Well, I think once Donald Trump does kick off this mortal coil or something, you're going to see people like Stephen Miller, Steve Bannon, Musk, a bunch of them. I don't think Vance keeps them around. I think Vance clears house.
Yeah, I think Vance, if Vance is the president and Donald Trump leaves one way or another, it will have gone so badly with Donald Trump, he will want to separate himself as much as possible because unlike Donald Trump, J.D. Vance has an opportunity to be reelected, and he's going to need to redeem himself somehow.
I'm not putting any money on that, but I pray that is true.
Well, that's going to play bad for J.D. Vance, though. Just imagine that, though. Because the Trump Republic base is not behind him, not in any stretch of the imagination.
They'll be more behind him, though, if Donald Trump kicks off than if they have to kick him out.
Then they can all get behind the martyr.
Well, if Trump kicks off, he's a martyr.
Right.
Yeah, but like Musk, Trump the fucks are only supporting Musk right now. because of Donald Trump. If Donald Trump kicked Musk to the curb tomorrow, they'd be up in arms. They'd hate Musk. They'd have nothing good to say about him. He's only convenient for them because Donald Trump says he's a great guy and he's a genius. And
I'm actually really surprised that he has not kicked him to the curb yet. So obviously Musk has more on Trump than Trump has on Musk.
Well, a couple of people have been asking me about Elon Musk, and I'll ask you guys what you think about this, because there's a lot of crazy motherfuckers out there, and what Musk is doing right now, attacking our personal information with the U.S. Treasury. There's fucking crazy ass people that are not fucking happy about that. So there could be consequences.
He's potentially in danger. He's potentially in danger. There's no question about that. He is going to be in trouble sooner than later, probably. And that's the thing, is all these people around him that are doing things, they don't have immunity, and they don't have the protection that Donald Trump has. So they got to be looking over their shoulders if something happens to Donald Trump. He's their protector, and if he's not there, J.D. Vance ain't going to do it. The Republican Congress isn't going to do it. They're all going to be in a world of hurt, and I would think they'd be thinking about that.
A lot of people in the comments are talking about J.D. Vance is worse, but he's not. He is a puppet in the hands of the oligarchs, but he's also he's more rational and normal than Trump is.
Well, he's controllable.
He's controllable.
He's controllable.
I don't
think
Donald Trump is not controllable.
That could be dangerous in terms of 2025. But he is also he also has a chance to have a job in 4 years, whereas Trump does not.
He's got to toe the line. Yeah, he's got to toe the line a little bit.
Right. So he has to.
I don't think he's a leader. I don't think he's leader material. Period.
No,
I don't even think I don't think they're going to listen to him at all.
He's not.
That's my opinion, though.
He's not. But the GOP is going to tell J.D. Vance, in the event that something happens, right? They're going to tell J.D. Vance, you do what the fuck we tell you to do, and if you don't, we're going to take care of that. So either you want to be president or you don't.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure that J.D. Vance will even kowtow to that.
He will.
He will. He may push back.
I think he's got a good chance of going the way of Gerald Ford, though.
Yeah, I do too. I don't even think he'll be the candidate in 2028, to be perfectly honest with you.
No.
They will have had to make some changes. They don't want anything tied to Donald. Well, yeah, he may be. Shauna, thank you for joining us. I'm going to wrap things up here pretty quick. Thank you for joining us, and I hope things go well for you up in Alaska. And if those goofballs come around mewing in your yard, let us know. Tell them we got to have some rational boomer people up in Alaska. We'll kick some Trump the fuck ass.
Show them the barrel of a 12.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, guys. I promise I'll be good. And I'm glad to have met you, sir. At least online, anyway.
I'm glad to have met you too. Thank you.
Thanks, Shauna.
Be safe.
All right, we're going to wrap things up, but we'll just kind of bring everything together here. We've got no tariffs. We've got Elon Musk breaking into the system. What do you think we have going further? All of you, just take a shot at this. What do we got in the next week? Because we know some kind of shit show will emerge.
Well, I'll go first because Eric goes last. So it's obvious that Donald Trump caved to Canada and Mexico because he knew he was in deep shit. He knew he was fucked. There's no way he could get around it. Canada and Mexico called his bluff. They called his bluff, and now he had no choice but to say, oh, we're working out a deal, There was going to be no deal. And there, going forward, there will be no deal. 10,000 troops on the Mexican border is what Joe Biden already did. It's a fucking joke. He covered his ass trying to make it look like a win. It's an absolute disgrace.
Well, all the Trump fucks are gonna believe that he fucking had a win when he put the 10,000 troops on the Mexican border that were already there. Like they're not gonna like think that he lost.
But we don't care because they believe he's Jesus too. So what the fuck, you know?
It's not.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they
win
think.
for Donald Trump. It's a loss, and it's an embarrassment.
Yeah. Any reasonable-minded people that voted for Donald Trump have to look at this and go, "Fuck."
But they're not.
Fuck.
They're not though.
But they're not. That's,
No, the
yeah,
reasonable-minded ones that just voted Republican.
Oh,
there is no reasonable-minded person that voted for Donald Trump. There's not.
Okay, I don't disagree with you. Eric, go ahead.
Well, I think this coming week, what we're going to see, he's going to crow about his wins against Mexico and Canada for a day or more or so. And then we're going to get into the confirmation votes, probably on RFK, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard. He's going to start losing those.
Yep.
And he's going to try to find a way to spin that and blame the Democrats. But he'll lose at least some. I don't think any of those three get in.
No.
I
would hope not.
I think they'll be close. They're going to be closer than we think they should be. It'll be like 47-53, 48-52. They'll rig the vote just enough to make sure they don't get in, but enough to kowtow to Donald Trump. It'll be a couple Republicans that have no intention of running again in, 26 or in 20. They're up in 28, or they just ran, so they won't. So Trump will be out of office before they run again. It'll be something like that. Or maybe it'll be somebody like Grassley in Iowa who you could reanimate his corpse and put him on the ballot and people would vote him in.
Oh, shit. I think I'm going to start giving Republicans nicknames, and we'll call Grassley the Mummy because he basically fucking is.
Well,
He's a goddamn.
That's why I call him Chuck. I'm older than chocolate chip cookies Grassley because he's older than the first printing of the chocolate chip cookie, which is sad.
Well, Rand Paul's been talking a lot of shit on Donald Trump about his picks for his cabinet.
Yeah.
When Rand Paul is the voice of reason,
that's fucked.
We are in trouble.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Jesus.
Like if you're Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell. In the absolute and these
evil motherfuckers, the evil axis of motherfuckers are talking shit against Donald Trump. You know it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. It's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. I'm going to wrap things up. We've been going a while. Thank you guys for coming on. Thanks to all the people who came on in the audience. Thanks to all of you that were listening and watching. I appreciate it immensely. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
No, Mike.